Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming to join us in celebrating Medicine Master Buddha's birthday. This Dharma door here is one of the very important Dharma doors at our temples. So I'm very happy that you're all here. First of all, some technical details. I'm very pleased with the chanting. The only technical detail is that you have to pay attention to the sound. The sound is that the Weno starts the sound, starts the pitch, the tune, but then we should be able to hear ourselves chanting, not just her voice. Today, initially, the voice is too loud. So those of you who man the audio console, please pay attention. It's way too loud. It's not towards the end after we adjust it that was more appropriate, okay? So the way you've been doing it, the professional, they don't understand our needs, our demands. That's why you need to pay attention to this. It's way too loud. It's coarse, rather coarse. All right? Number two, for some reason, unfortunately, on the men's side, especially my Korean boys, they chant like girls. So the reason that there is some men and women's side is because the man has a yang qi, yang sound in their chanting. My Korean monks are just too girly for me, too yin for me. I can't even hear them. And when I heard them, it's still way too yin. Okay? So this is very important for you, men in particular. This is a way, this is a chance for you to show your kung fu. Okay? When you practice, the spiritual practice in Mahayana has a way of fine-tuning your nature. So, for example, as we practice, engage in our spiritual practice, whether it's reciting Buddha's name or reciting mantras or meditating, okay, our nature, our predominant nature becomes more predominant. Meaning that when it's time, the yang side of the men's side will come out. It will come out in a chanting so that it's strong. Okay? It is resonant, like a bell. And the women's side, as the more they practice, the yin side becomes stronger. Okay? And therefore, when they chant, the voice is like the assistant Weno here today. The voice is very artistic. It's flexible, okay? It is pliable. Yet, her weakness so far is that she has no real kung fu yet. Kung fu is below our standards. So that's the lacking part. But otherwise, she has this artistic way of making sound that's very pleasing. And it's very flexible, okay, very pliable. And that's the yin nature of the sound. So she's got that part right. But the kung fu is not there yet. Okay? We may be American, we may be the third generation. You may be the third generation. The second generation at my master's temples is basically Chinese style. I would like you to do it better than they do and make it American. We Americans should do better than the Chinese. We should chant better than Chinese. How? By learning how they do it and do it more kung fu. That's our signature. We do ceremonies with high level kung fu so that it has more power. Okay? So that's what we do. I propose the third generation, I challenge you. Whatever the Chinese do, let's do it better. Because you learn from the Chinese, they think they are better than us, forget it. Okay? We're going to prove to them we're better than them in everything. Chant, Pure Land, mantra. That's my challenge to you. Okay? To that effect, I will put the assistant Wayno on a fast track so that she'll build up her kung fu a lot faster because I can't wait. I'm too old to wait. All right. And I like her to take Chinese classes, correct pronunciation from the Chinese. Don't go to junior colleges and learn from these not yellow-skinned people. They don't pronounce it right. Yeah. Like today, during the 88 repentance, there's a Thoại. I tried to correct them already, but it doesn't seem to take hold. It's train or train, but not Thoại. There's no Thoại. Okay, so if you want to beat the Chinese, we need to pronounce properly ourselves as well. We pronounce the way the Chinese pronounce. I hope you learn from Beijing Chinese person. I love the Beijing accent. Okay, it's so musical, so beautiful, so precise. The Vietnamese is northern accent. Northern accent is not as classy as a Beijing Chinese accent, to me personally. Okay, so find a Beijing teacher and learn how to pronounce Chinese the Beijing way, and then it would be so cool. And then add to it high-level kung fu and all of them. Then we do it better. All right, that's the recipe. All right, so please pay attention to the audio thing. I'm really annoyed by the audio. You guys are so coarse, so unrefined. Chanting is a very spiritual thing. You don't destroy it like that. It's supposed to make your mind more lofty, elevate your soul, liberate you from your mediocrity. And you can't do that if you keep messing it up. Okay? All right, what shall we talk about today? Oh, today is a very important, is a big deal for us because what we're practicing is from the Chinese. Of course, we're going to beat the Chinese again. So I'm not bragging. I'm saying this in order to challenge my students and also to challenge the Chinese and the Chinese followers. You think you're better than us? Prove it. Okay? That's a friendly competition. Okay? American tracks versus Chinese tracks. But the Dharma door we're learning from is actually from a Chinese. Which, because I learned from my master, actually he didn't really teach it directly to me. I had to learn from his pupils. When I was there, he only taught me a few things, but nothing about the medicine master Buddha Dharma. So when I started teaching as per his order, I imitated everything they did. So I did the Pure Land, I did Chan, I did the medicine master as well. This was at my brother's house. I have this small room here. And so that's where I meditated and researched my sutras and so forth. And I started teaching in the living room, and the Chinese came and the Vietnamese came, a few of them, maybe 2 or 3, don't remember. And one day, a dentist from Hong Kong, disciple of Master Shenhua, a long-time disciple, he said, my uncle just passed away, and I'm very close to him. I need to do something for him, help him go to the Pure Land, as we Asians believe. So I said, go to the DRBA. And involves money. I don't want to deal with money. I want to be pure. Okay, I didn't say that. I want to be pure, so I don't want to touch money. And so go to the RBA and ask them to do a 49-day thing. And I knew that the Master YongHua forbade the CTTB from doing a 49-day thing. So I told him to go to Berkeley or somewhere else to do it, to request for 49-day service. And he came back and he said, no, they don't do it. So I said, okay. And since you're one of the few students I have, so I'll do it for you. So that's how I started doing the Pure Land thing for him. And then not long after, there's another person also from Hong Kong, okay, as well. And he says, my cousin in New York, he's a programmer and his family is quite well off. He's severely depressed. So they tried all sorts of medications and none of it worked. So he's now in the scheduling for his third session of ECT. Anyone knows what ECT is? I'm not sure what the exact term is. Something about electrical convulsion therapy. What they do is, because these guys are so depressed, they don't feel like living, so they hook them up to some current and then give them electrical shocks. It's extremely painful. So the guy went through session. He said, I can't take it. This is, I'm going crazy with this. So that Hong Kong guy still lives up north, and he says, I can't stand to see him suffer so much. Can I do something for him? So I said, of course you can, because the Chinese have a lot of stuff. So go to the CTTB and ask for a Medicine Master Buddha plaque for your cousin. And it will give him a good relief, would help him tremendously. So the guy, the Hong Kong person, went to the Long Beach Monastery first. He used to fly from San Mateo to Long Beach to attend my Saturday class, and then would fly back up north because he wanted to learn Chan from me. Okay, he went to the other DRBA temples and he didn't like whatever he learned, so he said, I want to learn Chan from you. So he would fly down for one day and back up, same day. And so he immediately went to Long Beach Monastery and asked them for a plaque. And I said, well, you better go to CTTB and talk to them about it, give them a prize list and everything. He went to CTTB and he spent a lot of time there. He went back and he said, yeah, I got one like you suggested. I said, what did they tell you? What did you get? So he said, they gave me a Quang Minh Teng. You know what Quang Minh Teng is? It's right behind me. That's what the Chinese do. You know those Medicine Master Buddha lamps right there, towers right there? Yeah? Does it ring a bell, you Chinese people? Huh? So I said, Quang Minh Teng? What are you talking about? Did you explain to them what is the problem, about your cousin's problem? He said, yeah, I explained to them. And so I said, what did they say? I said, oh, you should get a Quang Minh Teng. And since Long Beach doesn't have a Quang Minh Teng, so you should go to CTTB and get a Quang Minh Teng. And I said, no, the Quang Minh Teng is not going to help the severe problem your cousin has. So he said, So what do? I said, go back there and ask them for Medicine Master Buddha plaque. So he went back there and they explained. They gave him more stories, whatever. And he came back to me and said, well, so what happened? He said, well, I'm not sure what they are doing about it. I said, okay, and then I do it for you. So we did it. As soon as we started the Medicine Master Buddha Dharma, the cousin immediately became normal and didn't need to continue to go to his third ECT session. Okay, that only occurred, I really believe, is because Medicine Master Buddha made an exception. Okay, so that's why from these two events, we started doing the two major Dharma doors in Mahayana, Rebirth and Medicine Master. Okay, and for that, the reason that it worked is because I really feel that we get a lot of help from Medicine Master Buddha and Amitabha Buddha, that's for sure. Otherwise, it cannot work this fast. Okay, and it's some miracles. You talk to the Christians and Catholics who would classify as miracles, and it's the kind of thing where my room should become a place of pilgrimage, because that's what I worship. The Medicine Master things in the closet. So anyway, that's how I got started. So this Medicine Master thing here, Dharma door here, is actually, we researched about it recently because the Koreans, the people in Korea, disciples in Korea, have good results from it as well. So they asked about it. And did you have a question number 4? Better be a reasonable question. Remember, don't ask questions I cannot answer or want to answer.
Oh. Master, I have 2 questions. So, okay. First question about Medicine Master Buddha. So when you cultivate by yourself in your room, what did you do to venerate the Medicine Master Dharma and Rebirth Dharmas? And second question is about the technical side of Rebirth Dharma. So Friday night we are doing transference. So do we have to put the 2 bowls of offerings for the 49 days as well, right after the time that we did the Mangshan?
So what's the question?
Do we still put like the bowl of offering for the disease with the 49 days after the
What's
Mangshan?
wrong with that?
Oh, I just have a question if we're still doing that or not.
After you come back from your movies, you usually go to a restaurant to eat some more? You don't date at all?
Like go home, yes.
I used to go with my friends until 1 or 2 in the morning, stop by Chinatown and have some chow fan. Okay, so it's my late meal. Ghosts get late meals too. What's the matter with you? Can I eat 2 meals a day, 3 meals a day, 4 meals a day? Huh? I'm glad he has asked an easy question. Okay, and so, where was I? Okay, then I guess we can end it here today. Yes, number 1 has a question. The spy from the other side of the tracks, from the Chinese.
Mô Phật bạch thầy, mình ở đây mình cúng Phật Dược Sư. Thầy ở ngoài nhiều cái chùa đó thì người ta cúng sao hạn đó thầy. 2 cái đó nó có giúp đỡ được cái gì? Dược Sư đã giúp đỡ được cái gì? Mà cúng cúng sao hạn đó, nhiều bây giờ ở đây mình ở
Very
đây
good.
rất là nhiều chùa cúng sao hạn, là cái đó làm sao?
Okay.
Đạo Phật mình không biết có cúng sao hạn không? Mô Phật.
Okay, translation.
Master, I saw that like here at our temple, we practice the medicine master Dharma, but then at other temple, I saw that they do the ceremony for the stars in order to eradicate disaster. So I wonder what is the benefit between the two types, and then does Buddhism do the ceremony for the stars things?
Quite often, you go to a Chinese temple, you see both medicine master and the constellation or stars, whatever, right? Am I correct? Most Chinese temples, they have that. Except for Master Xinhua's temples, they don't have that stars things. Okay, but in general, you go to a Chinese temple, you see in Vietnamese, I heard it's Kung Sao, whatever that is. Right? And is it helpful? Absolutely. I'm thinking of doing it myself. It brings in more money. The stars move. So, if they believe the stars move or do good things for you, why not? Okay, so as long as it helps bring in more money to the temple, why not? In Buddhism, we don't believe in those things because stars can be moved. So that's why you don't need to pray to them, because we move stars when need be. Okay, so stars move after the facts. Okay, and the forces move the stars in certain positions. Without the forces behind it, the stars would not align themselves to a certain formation at all. Okay, so these people who believe in stars don't really understand cause and effect. They don't understand the cause behind the alignment of the stars. You want the stars to align certain ways, you pray. Okay, you might as well pray for the forces that made the star align. That's Buddhism. Buddhism is we pray to Amitabha, to Guanyin Bodhisattva, to so forth, to Medicine Master Buddha. Those have the effect of eventually aligning, moving the stars, if you will. That's why I think. Okay, so that's why we don't feel it's the proper Dharma to pray to the stars, because it's wrong thinking about solving problems. In Buddhism, when we solve problems, we solve at the root source. We address the reason why the problem occurred at the first place. So we squash, you take out the root cause instead of fixing the symptoms. Stars is the symptoms. Okay, the alignment of stars is the symptoms of some forces behind it. So that's why in Buddhism we address the forces behind that. Medicine Master Buddha, resolved the causes for the stars of disaster stars and bad stars to align or shine on you. So we remove those forces and the star will go away. That's all. Okay, so. For us, I personally don't believe in those stars because I don't think they really work at all. Okay, you can pray to the bad stars because you don't like someone. You pray to anyone. Try that, praying that the best stars will shine upon someone you don't like, and then do that, and then I think if then another person goes to our temple and get a medicine master for the good stars to shine that person. Let's see what happens. What will prevail? Okay, and I feel on our side because medicine master Buddha is watching over us. I think. Okay, yeah. for today. Yeah, I think our side, the good things will happen to that person instead of bad things. Okay, it's because we deal differently. We deal with creating the causes for good things to happen. All right. Any other questions? Yes, number 9.
Hỏi chú Đại Bi với chú Chuẩn Đề có khác gì không?
Master, is there any differences between the Great Compassion Mantra and the Chuẩn Mantra?
How many weapons are there in Chuẩn Bodhisattva? 12 or 18? I don't remember. It's a question. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. In Chuẩn, in the Chuẩn statue, we have one. We got one in Lu Mountain Temple. The old monk got one. Master Old Monk, did you take it with you to go for us, or you left it at Lu Mountain Temple? I remember driving him to Try Treasure and get that statue. He paid like $2,200 for tiny things like this. Yes?
Master, we have two Chuẩn mantra at Lu Mountain Temple. They're still there.
No, there's a statue there on the altar.
Yes,
there's a
two
Chuẩn statue. I believe it has 18. Right? 18 weapons, 18 hands holding things. Okay? How about Wanyin Bodhisattva? How many weapons do we have? How many? Did you hear that?
Thiên thủ thiên nhã.
Chuẩn is a transformation body of Wanyin Bodhisattva. We all know that, yes? Okay. So for the 42 hands and eyes we practice has 42, she says. Correct? Okay? So just for simple arithmetic, you recite the Chuẩn mantra, you have the effect of utilizing those 18 weapons. Whereas when you do the Great Compassion mantra, you are having the effect of at least 42 weapons plus another 1,000 hands as well. That's a difference, a huge difference. So for a lot of people, they're taught to recite Chuẩn, in particular monks and nuns and lay people, because they got good results from it, especially like they get good jobs and they found love and could buy a house and all those things. Okay, so that's why Chuẩn is very popular. For example, I went to Hong Kong, a monk, this is way back then, the monk told me, look, you're too poor, let me teach you about this thing here where, look, I have 3 temples. I'm going to teach you now. And so I followed him around and we did the Sunday ceremonies and we went in front of the temple and prayed to the god guardians of the temple. Bow to them. And my face turned white. I said, me bowing to a god? Are you kidding me? So I never wanted to learn his Chuẩn Dharma door at all. A lot of the Asians, especially Taiwanese and Hong Kong people, do the Chuẩn practice because it brings them money, houses, and stuff like that. Go ahead, Q&A.
A Di Đà Phật. Theo con thấy cái chú Đại Bi á là nó đi siêu hơn, cao hơn để đi đến cái giải thoát. Bằng chứng là trong kinh Đại Bi, Đức Bồ Tát Ma Thế Âm nói rằng khi thầy của ngài là Phật Thiên Quang Dương Tịnh Trụ thuyết cho ngài nghe cái bài chú Đại Bi đầu tiên đó, thì ngài Quan Thế Âm mới có sơ quả thôi. Mà nghe cái chú Đại Bi Phật Thiên Quang Dương Tịnh Trụ thuyết cho ngài xong rồi ngài đắc lên bát địa. Và tới bây giờ, tức là tới ngày Đức Thích Ca có pháp hội đó đó, Bức Quan Thế Âm vẫn tụng chú Đại Bi không ngưng nghỉ. Cô nhận dịch cái đó trước thôi.
Master, I think like for me, the Great Compassion Mantra is a higher Dharma because it will bring you to liberation. So, for example, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, when his Shifu recite the mantra for him, he listened to it the first time ever. So he jumped from the first crown to 8th crown Bodhisattva. And then later on, when Shakyamuni Buddha was having the Dharma assembly, and then at that moment, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva still continued to recite the Great Compassion Mantra.
Để sử dụng trong cái chú Đại Bi thì Hòa Thượng Tiên Hóa có giảng là 42 thủ nhãn đó là cái công dụng của chú Đại Bi. Biết chú Đại Bi không mà không biết 2 thủ nhãn thì không sử dụng được, chỉ mới 50% thôi. Thành ra cái người tu đó phải 2 cái luôn là 42 thủ nhãn và chú Đại Bi. Và Hòa Thượng có nói rằng trong 300 năm nay thế gian không có ai biết 42 thủ nhãn cả. Vì do đó mà Phật Pháp không có tiến bộ. Nên chúng ta cần phải tu 2 cái là 42 thủ nhãn và chú Đại Bi cùng một lúc, cũng như người có 2 tay và 2 chân vậy mới làm việc được. Còn cái chú chuẩn đề đó là thường thường như thầy Vĩnh Hóa mới nói là nó thiên về thế gian Pháp nhiều. Và bên Mật Tông á, thì thầy của tôi cũng tụng cái đó rất nhiều. Nó có 33 Pháp cũng giống thủ nhãn của mình mà nó thấp hơn. Và nó không đòi hỏi cái người tu phải ăn chay trường. Và tại gia có thể uống rượu ăn thịt cũng có thể tụng được. Tại nó dễ dàng cho người tại gia. Nó không có đòi hỏi cao mà gắt gao về giới luật mà như cái chú Đại Bi. Xin hết.
So Master YongHua also taught us the 42 Hananai, and then he said that for 300 years nobody in this earth know about the Hananai. So when we practice the Great Compassion Mantra, we also have to practice the 42 Hananai so that we have the whole benefit of it. So it's similar to a person that also need to have both hand and feet. And then about the Janti mantra, I think like it's inclined more toward the worldly Dharma, because like my Vietnamese master also practiced the Janti mantra. He practiced a lot, and then a lot of people practice it because this Dharma is easier. The requirement is not as strict as the other mantra. Like for example, the lay people, they don't need to be a vegetarian. They still can eat meat. They still can drink wine and stuff like that, and they still be able to practice this Dharma.
Okay, very good. So that's part of the answer to the question right there. I can add a few more things. The master here, the old monk here, is a descendant of the Vietnamese mantra. He's a disciple of student of Master Yu Bổn, who is already passed away. And Master Yu Bổn is a 4th-stage Arhat who has been practicing in a Vietnamese mantra for his entire life since the age of 6, and he passed away at the age of 95. So he spent his entire life helping a lot of people, helping a lot of Vietnamese in Vietnam. And he chose to teach his straight to master the old monk. Okay, so he knows what he's talking about. In general, so there is a huge difference between power between the Chunti and Great Compassion Mantra. It's because not only because of the nature of the mantra, but also because of the practice itself. Okay, if you practice the Great Compassion Mantra and do not hold a strict diet, like you drink and you eat meat and so forth, your Great Compassion Mantra practice will not be as fruitful as if you were to be more strict. The same applies to the Chunti practice as well. Okay, so if the people who've been practicing the Chunti mantra, whether it's a lay person or a left-form person, if they were to be pure, have a pure life in terms of diet, in terms of behavior, then their Chunti practice will be a lot more beneficial as well. So it's not just a Chunti that has lower standard, it's just that the practitioners don't understand, that's all. So if you practice properly, they're both very, very effective. However, there's no doubt that the Great Compassion mantra is much, much more powerful than the Chunti mantra. Yes, 7.
This is from Jane. Growing up in China, I always heard the phrase 千手千眼观世音菩萨. I don't know where this phrase came from. Can Master please comment or explain the phrase?
Can we ask another day? Because time is running out. This is a one-yin question. Can we ask maybe next Sunday or something, or another Sunday or something? Because I'd like to wrap this up, and so that we can do the lunch offering and transference. We'll have a lot of work to do today, because we want to make sure there's a downpour up north. California is in a severe drought right now. It hasn't happened for a long, long time. It's this dry. So when we have a weather pattern, whatever the technical name is, that's up north right now, is supposed to start raining today. So let's do the Sunday, the transference, so that they make sure that's going to happen and nothing's not going to blow it away, and so that it rains in Nevada, for example. We want it to rain in Northern California. Okay, we need some relief. Otherwise, our economy is going to suffer greatly. We are the bread basket. We produce a lot of fruits and nuts for the country. 67% of the almonds. Anyone likes almonds? Produced in California, okay, and so forth. There's a lot of the agriculture here is very important, and we need more water. So it's okay for it to flood for a change, because we can rather have a flood than a drought. Okay, so there's some violent flood coming, starting today up north. So I want to make sure it happens. Okay, I'm aware of the pattern. As soon as last Friday when I heard about we're preparing for the weekend work, say, okay, that's why there's a pattern coming. So let's make sure that we do our part to make sure it floods up north. Okay, so I don't want to waste too much time on other unimportant issues. We can do our part to help out a little bit today. So let's make sure we do that, huh? Okay? All right. So I'm sorry, I don't want to answer that question about one yin yet. Okay, maybe another time. Okay? So I thank you all for coming. There's a lot more I wanted to talk, but these questions take up all the times. So thank you all for coming. Let's do the lunch offering and transference. Okay, thank you.